Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Mark and Gary on Free and it is a day in the week. I don't know what day in the week it is, but I know it's a day in the week. And I have just actually filmed a video in this top and with this makeup, but I like it and I couldn't really be bothered to change, and I don't have another red top, I don't think, that would match the makeup. So you're getting two videos with the same look. I hope you don't mind. In today's video, we are going to be ranking dances done to the same song. This is part 5. I thought that part 4 was going to be the last one, but then there were still songs that people were suggesting to me, so I was like, you know what? I'll do a part 5 as well. And if there's any more you can think of that I haven't already done, please leave them down below and maybe we'll have a part 6. But the guidelines are I don't do them if they've been used by a rival team. It's just the next step that as danced to them, that's what I analyse. And also I don't do auditions where it's just the one song has been played for every single person's audition. It hasn't like given them the full song to dance to individually, because I don't think that's fair, because obviously the 10 seconds worth of what you see isn't an accurate representation of what they did. So I don't do auditions and I don't do rival teams. So we might as well just get started. Oh, and the premise for this video, if you haven't seen the other 4 parts, basically I look at a song that has been used for multiple dances on the next step, and I just rank, in my opinion, which one I think is better. So the first one that we have is Plastic Love, and this was done by Alden and Hunter in their battle to see who owned Michelle.
We can see that we've been faded from the start, and the stars with the angels and the hearts. My dad wrong. The cameras love you, and I think that I do too.
Now there's a lot of things about this plot that I just don't like. I think it's such a bad plot and it's misogynistic. It just objectifies Michelle. Like, who really thinks that winning a dance battle determines who can date a person with their own feelings and emotions? Like, why was that the decider? Like, oh, okay, I'll step down from my girlfriend then because I lost the dance battle. No, like, it was so stupid. I really don't like the plot. There's a lot of things in season 2 that I find to be not, like, kind of problematic, kind of just not great. And I am looking to do a video basically talking about each season. So a video on season 1, a video for season 2, just saying what the pros and cons are for me, what my honest thoughts are. So those will be coming to you soon. I just need to plan them all and rewatch every single episode. So can't wait to do season 4. So Plastic Love was the dance battle song, but they did it twice. They did it in their original dance battle and the rematch. One person did one move and then the other person did the same move but better. I feel like that was a good way to establish an actual winner rather than them just doing 2 separate solos and it kind of being like, well, they both danced equally as good. I've put the rematch as the winner purely because I think it's more of a dance battle. It seems more realistic in a way, how everyone's actually watching them and deciding who should win. Hunter's freeze though in the rematch, I feel like Hunter really brought it in the rematch and he did a lot better. So did Alden, honestly. I love Hunter's freezes and how he was more playful with Alden, like he went through his legs and he was teasing him a bit. But Alden's turns towards Hunter is what kind of brought it for me. I think that's so iconic and it just really kind of says to Hunter, look, Alden is the winner this time. Oh, one thing I did like about the original battle though is the contact. I feel like they used that very well. It just seemed too rehearsed and too choreographed. The second song I have is Up in the Clouds, and this was done by Noah as a solo and then Noah and Jackie as solos, but it was to the same song.
I'm a bird on a thin wire. So just pass the time. Breathe in, breathe out when you're up in the clouds.
In bottom place, I've put Noah and Jackie's, but I really do wish it had just been a Jackie solo, because honestly what Noah did was pretty much the same as what he does in his solo that he does in exactly the same season. So it wasn't needed in my opinion. It just kind of added to the vibe that obviously they were both thinking about each other. But I just would have really liked to see an extended solo from Jackie because we never got one. But what I did like about Noah and Jackie solos was that I liked the transitions that Jackie had. It was very fluid and it kind of felt improvised from her. her. You could tell she was just kind of doing what she felt was right to do. But I like the intensity and what she gave. With Noah, I felt like his energy was great. It was really sharp, and every accent he hit really well. And I love the pose that he does after his turns, but he does do that in his solo as well, which is the reason that I suddenly realised, I've already seen this before. But first place, I put Noah's solo because I think it is overall more intense than Noah and Jackie's. In terms of a solo, I love how it starts and builds up. I love how he interacts with the bar as well, and it's not just him dancing in one place. He really shows his strength, and he obviously does the turns again with the pose, which I love from the other dance. And I also like to see Noah's flexibility, so he does quite a few leg holds and tilts and stuff. I think it's nice when we see the boys' flexibility as well as the girls. It's not really shown that much. I think Daniel used to do quite a lot of flexible moves, but I just like it when they kind of switch it up a little bit and show their full potential. This bit of hair is so long. It's just not curled as much as the other ones. I need to like bounce it a little bit. There we go, it's gone. The third song I have is I Know You Wanna, and this was done by the boys when both James and Hunter were leaving after the internationals battles. My bra strap is exposing me and poking out, oh my gosh. And also Josh did a solo to it in season 5.
Come on, give it up, show me some love, make your body move like it's bubbles in a cup. Let me see your wild side, let me see you strut. Bad attitude like a crowd lining up.
So second place, I've put Josh's solo because honestly I just found it pretty average. It didn't really give me any kind of vibe. I think it started pretty strong, but I just didn't feel anything from it. It was forgettable and yeah, just average. First place is the boys because I just think the energy is great. It is one of my favorite dances, I think, of that season and maybe like overall. I love how hearty it feels, but it does feel very choreographed. Like they do a full unison section and I'm pretty sure it's just meant to be freestyling and just kind of dancing to say goodbye to them. So I kind of wish it wasn't in there, but what they do in the unison is really cool and they hit all the moves perfectly. It is a really great group dance. Also the chemistry, they have such good chemistry between them. I really miss feeling that kind of chemistry with a group of friends on the next step. I didn't really get that from anyone in season 7, honestly. So I do really miss that. And I also like how they showed their individuality in the dance and it didn't just seem out of place. It all seemed like they bounced well off each other. We then have Shut You Down, which was done by Izzy and Heath in season 7 and also the Thunder Bros and Rochelle in season 7. Just the Thunder Bros? Is Rochelle in the Thunder Bros? I think just Thunder Bros. Yeah, they all wore the t-shirt.
If you got the moves and you know the rules, say what?
Yeah, I'ma keep on grinding to the wrist, bro.
So second place, they were pretty close together actually. It was quite hard to decide who would be second, but I've put the Thunder Bros because in the TV version, he falls out of his B-twist. It's not shown in the extended, so I don't really know why they chose to include that version in the TV. I don't know whether they overlooked it and just didn't notice, but yeah, he falls in the TV version, but in the extended version on YouTube, he doesn't fall. I think Rochelle hit all of her moves really, really good. I think Henry had great charisma and energy and just personality, and I also think Heath had great energy and just looked like he was hitting everything. I think Heath does that really well in season 7 in particular. Like I remember his alternate audition, it was just like he was a burst of energy. He really does have loads of stamina and he always really goes for his moves. It did look a little confused and awkward though, I think, before the little solo sections, and it kind of seemed like they just needed to fill time there. Like it started super strong and then it was like, oh well, I don't really know what to do for the second half, so you guys will just do solo bits and improvise. That's what it felt like to me. And also it annoys me, I don't know if I mentioned this in my reaction video, but the boys wear their normal t-shirts, like their blue, sage and red t-shirts underneath the Thunder Bros ones. And I don't know why, I don't know if maybe it was see-through or something. But in the Dance Mania vidcast that was an extra, Carter wears his Thunder Bros t-shirt. He doesn't wear anything under it. And it's not see-through. So I don't really know why they wore their t-shirts underneath t-shirts. If anyone knows the answer to that of why you were wearing your t-shirts underneath the Thunder Bros ones, please let me know. Carter, Isaiah, if you're watching this, let me know. But obviously that means in first place is Izzy and Heath's duet, and I am waiting still for this to be uploaded as an extended dance. I'm so excited for it to be released. It might be one of my favourite dances of season 7. I just love the energy. I think it's so contagious and they both complement each other's dance styles super, super well. I also feel like there's a good chemistry there. It doesn't feel forced. I actually think that Izzy and Heath have a lot more chemistry than Izzy and Ozzy do, and they're meant to be siblings. So it was great to see that. And in case anyone asks, I don't ship them romantically, Izzy and Heath. I just ship them as friends. I really wanted to see more from their friendship. We then have Shining Lights, which was done as a solo by Rochelle in season 4, and it was the international small group routine, the hip hop dance. And second place is Rochelle's solo.
All the lights and all the sounds collide and make a perfect storm.
So this solo, I remember watching for the first time because season 4 came out later in the UK than it did in Canada, I'm pretty sure. I remember seeing it uploaded before I actually got the chance to watch it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited to see season 4. I'm so excited to see Rochelle is back. She's blonde again, and I'm really hoping that she makes A-Troop. So it really did build the tension very well, how she was looking away from the camera, but we still knew who it was. It was great. It was very, very fluid and strong as well as a routine. I just feel like her face kind of showed nothing though, and it's a common thing with Rochelle. I just want her to use her face more, even if it's just being intense. I don't necessarily want her to be smiling all the time, but just give me an intense face or a sassy face or something like that, because it's just blank. I don't feel anything from her. And also for the song, I would have liked it to be more hip-hop based and have more hip-hop elements in it. I feel like there was fast moments, I guess, and bits where she hit accents on the beats and the music, but it could have been something more for me, and the song didn't really fit. The first place is the internationals routine because I also love it. I think the beginning might be the strongest part for me. Riley's look in this dance gives me life. I love it. The wet hair, the slick down, the outfits that they wear, I love it. I kind of wish Giselle had slicked down wet hair also. It just really is a great group dance. It felt like they were really pushing themselves to the limits, and that every aspect of the choreography was different to what we'd previously seen, so it wasn't predictable. It could have been done to a better song, I think, and obviously it wasn't originally choreographed to that song. Particularly it was the bits where Riley goes to the floor and Giselle does her back handsprings. I just feel like it seems a bit fragmented there, so it might have looked better depending on what the music was originally supposed to be. We then have Dance Till Dawn, and I didn't originally include this, or was going to include it, because I didn't think we had extended versions, but we do. The extended versions are available on YouTube, but the Emily and Michelle version isn't, so I had to take that from the episode itself. So Dance Till Dawn was done in season 1. We have, this is the order from top to bottom. We have Jiley's duet, Kate and Chris's duet, Tiffany and Daniel's duet, Chloe and Eldon, Stephanie and West, and Emily and Michelle. So Emily and Michelle are in bottom place because it was a battle. It wasn't a duet. And even if it was supposed to be a battle, there was no chemistry between them. They didn't even really look at each other that much. Emily didn't want to look at Michelle. The ending part was just them barging past each other. It was overall a bit of a mess, and I feel like Michelle kind of didn't know what to do with herself. Above them is Stephanie and West, because I felt like this was just two solos side by side, and they could have both done the dance like without the other person, apart from maybe the lift, which Wes could have probably done by himself if he just did a back tuck. So it wasn't a duet, and they didn't need each other for it. If anything though, the unison section was pretty cool, and it was nice seeing Wes lift Stephanie, because Wes doesn't usually do the lifts in group dances, so that was cool, but overall I didn't like it. We then have Chloe and Eldon. I liked how it was ballet first and foremost, and how they matched the steps to the beat of the song. So it was a fast song and they did fast movements, but I do feel like as the dance went on, it didn't suit as much. So it started super strong for me. I like how they did the pas de chat and then the pas de bourrées and that stuff, but then it kind of just seemed like they weren't listening to the music properly and it didn't fit. I also think the lifts were pretty cool, but it was just the pace for me. It didn't fit. It started strong, but then by the end of it, I was kind of just like, that wasn't correct for the song. We then have Tiffany and Daniel, and I liked how I could feel the chemistry between them. They both looked like they were having a good time, and that obviously is contagious to the viewer, and you're like, yes, I am having a good time too. Also, their moves complemented each other if they were doing something different, which is why they're above everyone else. But I don't think Daniel's turns fit with the music or in the dance. It just kind of seemed like he wanted an excuse to throw them in there, and I wish he hadn't really. He could have done something else, literally anything else, and it would have been better. And also I thought the lift was awkward and awkwardly placed, so that's why it's not top. We then have Kate and Chris, and I also love the vibes of their dance, and I love their lift. It was super advanced. It was a great example to set the kids. It wasn't perfect for me, but it was great. But first place is Jiley's duet, which I do think was perfect as a duet. They both had great musicality and natural chemistry between them. They both had parts where they showcased their ability, but unison parts that showcased them both, and no one was overshadowed by the other person. If one person was doing a move but the other person wasn't, they were still doing something that fitted with the routine. It fitted the song overall, and it was just a good duet. We then have Feel the Fire from season 1, which was done by Michelle's group and Emily's group, when they're both kind of deciding who should be dance captain in Kate and Chris's eyes based on who can choreograph the better routine. So in second place is Michelle's group, because I love the beginning part where they do the turn and then slap their hands on the ground. But other than that, it was a mess in the performance stage of it, and I can't put it above a dance that was clean. First place is Emily's routine. Because of that, it was clean and technically great. I do think there was times where they were a bit out of time with each other. So Tiffany, for example, I'm pretty sure at the beginning she wasn't looking down at the ground, she was looking slightly up. And then on the leap, she was slightly out of time as well. But there was just too much unison in it, and there was no personality. It just seemed like it was showcasing Emily, like the dancers say. So it wasn't great, but it was better than Michelle's dance because no one fell on the floor. We then have Lifeline, which was done in season 2 by Becca, Chloe and Giselle, and by Jake in season 3.
You came like a bursting full of rain. I know if I never see the sun again, throw me a lifeline.
In second place, I put Jake's solo because it was strong, it was super fluid, and it was very Jake. Just like Eldon says, Jake has his very individual way of dancing. It's not my favourite personally, but I do like how he sticks to kind of showcasing himself, and he knows that that is a style that works for him. I admire that. It also was a little bit repetitive. Like, I kind of knew what moves he was going to throw in next. It was a lot of, he'd often do a back handspring, he'd often do turns, he'd often do some shoulder stuff, so it was a bit predictable. First place is the trio by Becca, Chloe and Giselle, and I love the song first and foremost. Like, I love hearing Noah singing it. I think his voice back then was so cute, and it is a good dance. I think Becca really stepped up to the plate well to dance with these two A-troopers. She emotes well, dances at the same level as them, and it's just nice. I also like the unison section. It's good. Overall, despite the trio being easier in difficulty in my opinion, I just think it has more heart and connects to the song better than Jake's solo did. So we then have Classicality, which was done by Chloe, Eldon and Daniel in season 2, and also Amy and LaTroy in season 4. So second place is Amy and LaTroy. I think it fit the vibe of the song great, but it got a little bit messy before LaTroy started doing his animation section and the music got a bit harder hitting. I think the tutting also was messy, and overall Amy was just too bouncy and too acro-y for a lot of the steps in it. I feel like she needed to kind of just be more stiff and static and be more isolating rather than using her whole body. So I don't think that was a nice blend of their two styles. So Chloe, Eldon and Daniel's trio, I like how each person was slowly introduced to the routine, and I like also how it was just Chloe and Daniel to start with. Like, it didn't force Hunter to do these crazy balletic movements. But Hunter was still moving, and honestly I think it would have looked better if Hunter was just frozen at the back and we didn't really notice him until the music starts getting more hip hop, and then he can break out in front of them. Because also another point is that Hunter's like always in the background, whereas Chloe and Daniel are in the foreground. And when the music switches to be more hip hop, I think he should have taken the foreground and they should have gone behind, especially because there's 2 of them and only 1 of him. So that's just a little structuring thing I personally would have changed. But Hunter's musicality and energy I think was great in this routine. I love Chloe and Daniel's tilt that I think they do. Like I said, there were parts where I just kind of forgot about Hunter and he was kind of ignored on the floor. So if he was in front, he then would have been able to showcase himself while the dancers are dancing behind him. We then have Falling Apart, which was done by Amanda in season 3 and Piper in season 4.
Did you have to leave so early in the morning?
So Amanda's solo was good. I think it had a great use of the space. There's a lot of varied movements in it as well. It wasn't a predictable routine either, but I don't think it was amazing. It was just kind of average Amanda for me. I think like her battle solo, for instance, was a lot better than this solo, whereas there were moments in Piper's solo where I thought, yes, I love that. So that's why Amanda is only second and Piper is first. Piper gets first for me, even though I think sometimes her emotions are a little bit Maddie face. So Dance Moms reference, kind of just forced sadness, like, or really over exaggerated like facials. I'm not a fan of that. I think Piper has grown out of that though. I don't think it's really an issue anymore. Sorry, I'm trying to turn up the light. I don't think it's really an issue for Piper anymore. Like season 7, the Parallel World solo, I don't think there's really fake emotion in that. You feel it a lot more with that. So it's kind of when she's younger, it's kind of a habit that I don't really like. Piper's transitions are really good in this routine and also her fluidity. The things that I really like are particularly the leg hold and her hitting the accents really sharp. I love. She's very good at letting her movements fill the whole of the timing. So she's not just doing a kick and then waiting until the next move. She does the kick and lets it go into the next move and fully uses all of the counts like you should. So I really like that. We then have Showstopper, which you might think has only been done by Michelle, but actually it was done at Michelle's goodbye party in season 7. It was done by Amy and Sloane when they were filming Cassie's history project. Stephanie and Beth in season 3, and obviously Michelle in season 2. So bottom place is Amy and Sloane. I think her sass is goals and she hits all of her movements super strong and lots of energy in it. And I would have liked to see more facials from Sloane, if I'm honest, because I think Amy outdanced her there and outperformed her. But there is chemistry between them. It looks very like friendly and nice. You can get into it and it's basic moves, but I think they executed them well. We then have Michelle's goodbye in season 7. First off, I just want to say Amy and Finn killed it. Like Finn, when he does his body roll up, oh my god, like yes, Finn. I want to see Finn do that whole solo just by himself, please. It was really good. It made me go, whoa. I think the energy and the interpretation was great, and I think Piper in particular did a great job of performing it. I love also how the boys even attempted everything, even though it wasn't their strong style. It's just no higher because it wasn't all in unison at times and everyone had different levels of ability, but it was great. We then have Stephanie and Beth coming in second, which means that obviously Michelle's original solo is in first. I think Stephanie was right that they are great duet partners. Their styles really do complement each other, but I think Beth killed it. Beth's so underrated, I think, and the choreography really suited Beth's style. It showcased her well. I think she does, what is it? Oh, I've tangled my hair. It's like a leg tilt jump, like a leap thing. I don't remember. Beth definitely does something, I'll put it on screen, that impresses me and I love it. But first place is Michelle's solo because it's iconic. I think the song suits it perfectly and Michelle is so good at performing. She really does become a different person when she's on stage, who's just naturally like lovable by an audience. She knows what to do on stage. She has great facials. She puts 100% into it. There's only the one thing for me if I'm critiquing it. I don't know whether lip syncing to a song is an issue when it comes to a jazz acro routine, but I know for contemporary it will kind of be looked down upon if you were doing really sad dance and you were also mouthing the words. It's not great like stage etiquette or like competition, convention, whatever, performance etiquette in my opinion and experience. So I'm not really sure what the case is with a jazz acro dance because I don't do that, but that's the only thing that I picked up on. Other than that, I think it's great. The final song we have is Lost in the Middle, and this is done by Talia, Noah and West in season 3 and Summer in season 6.
All in all, is this why I'm standing? Is this why we're 10 feet tall? And all I want to see is you. All my life I've been lost in the middle, can't figure any way out.
So in second place is Summer. Her energy is great, her expression's great, she has natural stage presence as well.
However, it is quite repetitive and she does this backbend at least 3 times and it's just overall very predictable.
But first is Talia, Noah and West, and I like how their different moves complemented each other. But there's a whole section where I just think Talia could do a lot more, and I'm pretty sure someone says that in the episode. So that was me ranking dances done to the same song on the next step, part 5. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if there's any more songs you can think of. Even if you think I might have done them in previous videos, I'm not going to tell you to go and watch all of them before you leave a comment. And if there is something that you leave, I'll note it down, and if I can get 10 or at least close to 10, I'll do another video. If not, then this will be the final part. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Like I said, comment down below and make sure you subscribe because I upload twice a week, hopefully, sometimes depending on work, and definitely once a week. So I'll see you next week, guys, or later this week. I don't know what day it is today when I'm uploading this. I'm gonna sneeze. Yeah, I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.